Hello again, Chuck Cannon here, and this is going to be video 2 for week 2. I think I'm actually going to break these into even smaller pieces because I kind of found that the rendering and the uploading and everything just gets more dangerous as you make longer videos, and so you're just more likely to break a connection or corrupt a file or something. And so I'm really going to do these in shorter chunks. They'll all be on the same page, and so all the links will be together, so you can part 1, 2, 3, or however many pieces I break this into, you can just follow those down and go through the lecture like you would normally, but they'll just be broken into smaller, shorter pieces, which you might prefer, you might not. I'd like to hear that as well. Do you like it? Do you want to sit there for 40 minutes and have one thing, or like 5-minute bits actually better? Let's find out. So anyway, this is the second video, and I just have one assignment. So you can kind of view this as a test for the coordinators. Your first week coordinators are getting a good challenge, I think. So you'll get your group together and hold a meeting without the instructor. I think your grad students, and I don't really assume to know the best way to do these things. I mean, I've done a lot of this stuff before, and it's always kind of been a little tricky, and it never really seemed to work as well as it could have, and a lot of times it just comes down to the connection. I mean, so, if people in various places, or maybe in remote places, going to the field, have a weak connection, that can make the whole thing rather difficult. And so I would advise you to kind of have a backup plan, to try a few different platforms, and maybe even kind of simultaneously. You can have a texting thing on your laptop while you're trying to video conference and so forth. I really think, unfortunately, it's going to kind of come down to texting. I think I've mentioned this before, but that's kind of the most reliable way, and allowing everybody to have the equal access, equal opportunity to get into the discussion and so forth, instead of just those that have a great internet connection. So I think it's going to, I would kind of advise everybody to have a backup text, so that even if there's one person who can't get in on the Google Hangout or whatever that people are going to try, have a backup plan so that people that don't have a good connection can participate. So then I want you to discuss, the videos so far, both the content and the quality of them. What am I doing something really wrong here? I'd like to not, if you could, what's a really cool thing that someone did in an intro video that you really liked, or even maybe anonymously you could throw it in as a group if there's something that you think someone did that you didn't like. So I really think we should be able to review each other and kind of give constructive criticism about how this is going, because we're all learning together, really. So then I want you to summarize these discussions that you have and post it on the website by the end of the day on Monday, September 10th. Some more general comments. Next week, our guest speaker will be Professor Richard Corlett, who recently joined the faculty at Sichuanbana Tropical Botanic Garden. And he's there to lead the new Center for Integrated Conservation. This is kind of the brainchild of several people at XDBG, something that the director, Chen Jin, has been very supportive of, and we're very excited to recruit someone of Richard Corlett's stature to go there and to lead this group. And I think it's a very interesting idea, integrative conservation. The Chinese generally do see things in a much more practical way, and don't really divide nature and humanity as much as I think the Western world does. And so maybe there will be some really interesting things come out of this Center for Integrated Conservation. So Dr. Corlett will be kind of reviewing. He actually did write the textbook on tropical Asian forests, and so he is the expert. He's going to give us a good review of that topic. And I'll be posting this by the end of the day. Monday, he's already sent it to me. It's in the can, and none of this business like I do things, and I apologize. So if you'd like to be the student representative for the interview with Dr. Corlett, please volunteer. Otherwise, I'll just assign 2 people randomly by Monday. I'll just say I did get some of you are already nominating yourself to interview various people, and I'm totally fine with that. I'll start finalizing that list and get that together soon. And we'll discuss a little bit more about the details about these interviews, but they don't have to happen immediately right after you watch the guest lecture. I mean, we need to let everybody watch the lectures, and then the student representatives need to get questions from their fellow classmates, and then I think Piazza is actually a really nice place to do that. We could actually start a thread, and everybody can go edit those things. I don't know if you've noticed that. So if there's a post there, so we can start posting questions, and the student representatives could be the one to responsibly go through and edit those, and kind of put those together, and then they would Skype with the guest lecturer. Not all the guest lecturers know that this is part of it, but I think they will agree. We can twist their arms. So anyway, but kind of be prepared for that, and I think we should take advantage of what Piazza has to offer and kind of edit those things together and have a nice document so that the student representatives are well prepared by the end of the week, and they can even interview the following week, and those can be put up later. Just to again mention the second week coordinators, just to make sure that everyone understands that spreadsheet that I put up out there, and I'm using the emails. I just cut and paste, and why do I need to edit these? You can recognize yourself. So those are the coordinators for the second week, and David and I will be taking part in those small group meetings at that time. And you can take what you learned from the first week, use the same platform, try a different one, but do arrange it with those group members and with the instructor. So the second video this week is going to be about citizen science and forest management. So this is kind of the other half of this course right now that we're going to be talking about. And kind of what do I think of as citizen science? To me, it's a return to Darwin's time when scientists were gentlemen and gentlewomen, and you didn't have to get a big federal grant to be a scientist. You could actually just walk out your door and look around and look rigorously at things and look carefully over long periods of time at things. And I think you imagine kind of what Charles Darwin or Alfred Russell Wallace would have done with the technology that we have now. I really, given what Alfred Russell did in his lifetime, he would have gone mad with this technology. I mean, it's amazing what you can do today with just this, the basic smartphone. Mine did die, and I'm going to have to decide whether I need another one. I think I will probably. I realize that it did fit a niche that I kind of miss, and it is pretty powerful, and so I probably will be getting another one. And I'm actually going to start posting. I think on Piazza there's a thing where I can take polls. I'm going to start posting kind of questions to kind of quiz everybody to, what smartphone do you use, what's your platform, what's your operating system. We kind of need to know all that so we can coordinate it and find out, whose specialty in what. And anyway, I'll be starting to do that next week as well. So anyway, I mean, to me, citizen science is simply just, kind of breaking down that barrier. Like, okay, lay people, there's not this sharp division between lay person and a scientist. You can actually kind of be, an evening couch scientist. You could sit there with your mobile and do something that would contribute to a larger effort. And I think that's really cool. And I think we need to learn how to exploit this better. I have young daughters, and we've gone through the Pokemon, the Digimon phase and everything. And I've kind of remember watching Digimon one time. It's like, wow, that's this kind of thing might be possible. You think, wow, it's crazy. Dick Tracy, and you probably don't even know that in the Sunday comics was this detective who had a watch. He could talk to people through it, and all this crazy technology that people could, oh, that's impossible. You'd never be able to do that. And then, Digimon. Maybe you'll have a little familiar. You'll have this little autonomous little robot friend that goes around with you everywhere. And we could develop ways of capturing natural history data with those things. And I think it's really cool. And so, I think I'm probably infringing all kinds of copyright here on Digimon, but I think they won't mind. And also kind of introduce this term of near sensing. I've used it before in the description of the course, I think, and to me it's just kind of, there's a lot that can be captured out of kind of human scale data collection, digital recordings and so forth, so like this is kind of a, idealistic photo of Sichuanbana Botanic Garden, taken from across the lake there at the Thousand Blossoms. I forgot what that was. Anyway, so, but just looking at that photo, it's just some snap taken by a tourist, and it's a really beautiful photograph. But there's actually a lot of data you can pull out of that, in looking at kind of phenology, and there's a tree over here flowering. There's a group of trees over there flowering. And if you look back on the hills, you can kind of tell that the rubber trees don't have their leaves, and so this must be dry season. It must be kind of November, December, or something like that. And so you can get a lot of data out of these kind of very kind of opportunistic kind of shots. And kind of this is what I think of as near sensing. So kind of to provide a more rigorous definition of near sensing is kind of using digital recording equipment that is handheld, trap-mounted, even airborne on drones. I'm really excited about this, and I really want to try to get into this technology, and I'm excited to work more with Lian Pin, and there's other groups. There's DIY drones, and it's becoming very, very popular, and I think it has tremendous potential to fly a copter around in one of these forests would be just fantastic. So anyway, these are new ways to collect high-quality data about forest condition and composition. And for me, the geographic scale ranges from the individual organism, down to insects and flowers and roots and fungi and everything, all the way up to kind of local communities where you can take a picture of the canopy and the structure of the forest, and then you can, really gather some data. So that I think there's would be a hierarchy too of people who would be citizen scientists, from the career scientist like me who does this, I do have access to equipment, down to the lay person who just is taking a snap with a geo-referenced camera or something and uploading those to a site. There'd be all ranges of people that would, from that kind of opportunistic snaps up to people who might actually go out and conduct a little survey in a transect fashion and follow the protocols that we might develop in this course, up to more official efforts. And so we can anticipate different ways in which citizens can participate in this endeavor. So anyway, I think it's a really interesting topic, and I'm going to end this part right now and see you a little bit later. Bye.